following movie will create CFAST connections to connect the two shell meshes. Here we'll go into the CFAST command, and we have a number of different methods that we can use to select either points or a CSV file or a node in order to create the CFAST connection. We'll select point. We have some points that have names associated with them, which we can select through the name selection in the selection bar. So there we have our 4 points selected. Select a search distance which is greater than the distance between the plates. Then we'll create our physical properties for the CFAST. If we select a smaller diameter, that typically produces a better, more robust selection of the various connections. And we can also select whichever units we want for assigning our stiffnesses. And here you can see a pre-selection of where the connections will be made between the two shell meshes. Alright, so now we have created the CFAST connections. Let's take a look at what happens if we have an update. So here we'll go ahead and make a change to the number and location of the fastener connections. Since we added a few extra fastener locations, we need to add the names for those points. Or if we were going to use a CSV file, we'd need to write those points out to a new CSV file, which we could use for our fastener creation. But here we'll continue along the name selection route and add the CFAST name to those additional points. Now when we go back to where we had created those CFAST connections, what you'll see is no update is available. The CFAST connections are not recipe based and they do not update with geometry changes. So what we need to do is delete that CFAST connection and recreate it. We can reuse the collector, but we will need to recreate the CFAST connection. So one other thing that we'll notice is that we do have additional orphan points that were created as a result of creating the CFAST connection, which we'll need to delete. Then we can recreate our CFAST connection. We'll go ahead and select the points, again with name selection. We'll reuse the collector and the CFAST properties, and this procedure would be identical if we were to be removing points as well. We'd have to remove the CFAST connection and recreate it. And that concludes the demonstration.